Well, good afternoon. It is afternoon for me, 4:44 p.m. It's good morning if that's when you're listening or watching, and evening if that's when you are, and I wish you uh, all a good whichever it is. You know, I really wanted to do a conversation today, but the three people that I was hoping to have a conversation with, none of them are ready at this time. All of them have given me more or less a rain check. Uh, and so they will happen, but not now. And the reason that I really would rather do a conversation is somebody else gets to do most of the talking, and I can sit back and let them direct the flow and current, and I just sort of I'm more or less a bystander or a little bit of a participant, but not as active as it has to be when I'm the one doing the video, which I am today. And the title that I finally came up with is The Corporate World is the Beast. Earlier today, I asked God to hold me as I was feeling very separate, lonely, and disheartened. I did not sense an answer. My prayer came after a long-time friend notified me that she no longer wished to be on my mailing list because she gets, quote, a stomach ache every time, and, quote, she gets my emails. So many still do not get it, lulled to sleep and inaction by the programming that only emphasizes the internal to the disregard of the world in which we live. I wish I could feel the inspiration and optimism expressed by Karen Hudas, for example. Right now, I simply do not feel that way. The march of total corporate control continues despite the best intent of the whistleblowers and wayshowers that continue to be ignored by the masses, as I said, lulled to sleep by the beastly corporate world of insanity and denial. I've actually been in this space most of this year when it comes right down to it. I mean, there are times that it seems a little more despairing, or I seem a little bit more despairing than at other times. But this year it's not that I'm disappointed with this year. I'm disappointed with last year and the year before and the year before that. I'm disappointed, as I've said in recent videos, that things that I thought were imminent and happening aren't happening. And I listened to the Double Dutch radio today with Peter and friends. And Peter's, by the way, he had some beautiful things. So if you get a chance to listen to that, it's worth listening to, especially the end part. Although I'm going to have, next time I have a conversation with Peter, I suspect we're going to be taking up one of those quotations that he has, some of the quotes that he did in 2013, because they're really worthwhile. In any case, they talked about the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is again the globalization of the world, the corporatization of the world, trying to make things illegal that are insane. For example, growing your own food or drinking unpasteurized milk or getting fined because genetically modified seeds cross-pollinated your land and you're getting sued because it, and protect all the protections that they're trying to put in place for the corporations that are committing crimes against nature, crimes against humanity, crimes against everything. And they continue to march forward, and most of the world, most of my friends, still sleep. My friend doesn't like it because week after week I make quotations and say things that have the intent of waking people up. But some people just simply don't want to even acknowledge that they're asleep. Many of them think that they're already awake, which really blows my mind, because awake is not living within your own mind and your own, creating your own little isolated cocoon and feeling separate from the world, therefore at peace, because you're not affected by what's going on around you, at least not yet. You know, like the people that weren't affected when the Nazis started to come after the Jews because they weren't Jewish, or they started coming after the communists, but they weren't communists. They started coming after everybody else, and until finally they came after these people, and nobody was left to raise their voice. That's the same thing that's happening in our world today. Are the corporate controllers going to ultimately win because of the unwillingness of people to face reality? And reality means the world that we live in. My friend sent me a thing that whether you see the glass as half full or half empty is irrelevant, because the reality is there is no glass. And that's the thinking that many people have in regard to the world. It doesn't matter if you see the world as good or evil, as moving in the right direction or the wrong direction, because when it comes right down to it, the world is just an illusion. It's not real. You know, there is no world. There's only now, this present moment. There is no history. There is no future. There's only now. All of these are nice sounding things. I buy into them myself a lot. But I live on this world. This world does affect my feelings, my moods, my thoughts, my experience, and it affects the people around me. Everything is affected by this world. And I know, I've taught some of these spiritual teachings myself. I've really believed them, and it's easy to believe things when everything is going well. But I refuse to go into the cocoon, even though I wanted to be held earlier today, as God has held me other times, and I have felt comforted and blessed, and certainly connected to something higher, something more. But I measure things now by the world in which I live, by the actual experience that I'm experiencing and what I'm looking at. Because what I'm looking at, to me, makes a difference. I want a world that works for everyone, not simply a world that works to the benefit of those that want to harm everyone else. They want to protect themselves by harm. They're masters of denial, of love, of all the things that are valuable and worthwhile and excellent in nature. They want to deny all these things and push their combat boot on every face. One of my friends sent me one of Josie Outlaw's thing today talking to the police. She's absolutely right on. But the police continue to receive and follow orders that are unlawful. And most of the things that our governments do, most of the things the multinational corporations do are unlawful. Folks, this is the beast. The religion that teaches that you don't have to pay attention to the world, that it's all just an illusion, that you're just terrible sinners, and you have no value to add, there's nothing you can do about it. All those religions are the false prophet. Doesn't matter what the label is, what the name is. That false prophet stuff is in all of the religions, all of them. They have the element of don't make waves. They have the element of trying to keep people placated and under control so that the elite, the establishment, can keep getting away with their beastly ideas and their beastly plans. And they've moved forward step by step, and they seem to be on steroids in the current day and age, even in this 2014. This new year, when we've had so much awakening occurring in the past few years, yet despite all of that awakening, they continue to try to globalize and corporatize everything, and to make everything that offers any resistance to their plan, to make that illegal, and to put laws on the book so that they can incarcerate or even kill the people that want the truth. Now, this is the world that we actually live in. And I know there are people that just don't want to admit that to themselves. They'd rather have believe anything, do anything. They'd rather be deluded. They'd rather be misdirected, which is what the Illuminati does, which is what the world does. It misdirects us all the time to look at things that are really inconsequential and to not pay attention to the things that most affect our day-to-day life. And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that right now and this year so far, it doesn't seem like things are moving at all. From where I'm sitting, nothing is moving in the right direction. Everything is moving the wrong way because that's all that I'm seeing. That's all that I'm able to connect with. I can't even find the place within myself of peace. And that's the truth. That's the truth. I don't like to admit that even to myself, let alone do it to whoever wants to tune into me around the world. I don't even like to admit it to anybody. But it's the truth. I'm right now really pessimistic. I'm feeling really, really low. I'm feeling like everything that I've been doing has failed and has been in vain. Now I know I'm going to get people saying, Ron, it's not. You're not. You've helped me a lot. And I know that's true. But here's this friend that I've known for a long time that's been in my home, that's actually led classes in my home in the Mary Horgan Center, and has been one of my friends for a long time. Now, it's not that she's a close bosom buddy or anything like that. Never been that. But someone that had respect for me and that I had some respect for her as well. But I make her sick to her stomach every time she gets my emails where I'm talking about people waking up, that it's time for people to pay attention to what's going on in the world. She's one of the people that I can't figure her out. Let's put it that way. She's an enigma, just like I'm an enigma to many people. She's an enigma to me. Sometimes she seems very negative and sometimes she seems positive. I'm not sure where she's at right now. Apparently, probably in the negative place, and that's where I am. So that's what I'm bringing into my world. She's feeling negativity, and so am I. And I promised, as I've said many times, that I would be authentic, and I'm being authentic now. But I'd rather be more upbeat. I'd rather be more encouraging to myself, so that I could be encouraging to you, and encouraging to others. I'd like to see the direction that the world has been going. I'd like to see that dramatically changed. I'd like to see the enantiodromia, the reverse flow of energy, the transformation of all the negativity into something that is worth celebrating and something that is good. But more and more shadow issues come up, more and more despondency, despair, more and more negative thoughts and feelings I'm having to deal with. This is my shadow. This is a mini dark night of my soul so far in 2014 because I wanted so much. I wanted certain things to happen so much last year that did not happen. And it really, really annoys me and bothers me. So if that's how you're feeling, know that you're not alone. Be honest with yourself, because I still think that honesty is always the best policy. I always think it's better to tell the truth about what you're going through than it is to lie and to put on a happy face and to pretend that everything is wonderful when that's not where you are. If that is where you are, well, good for you. I'm glad that you're able to be in that better space than what I'm in. But right now, it does seem like the astrological influences are bringing a lot of underworld stuff, a lot of unconscious material to the surface to be dealt with. And I'm choosing to deal with it honestly. And even though I'm not claiming that I like it, I'm not pushing it away. I'd like to be held by God. I'd like to be held by a beautiful woman. That's just not the reality that I have right now. And so I embrace where I am, and I tell the truth about it. And I feel what I feel. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say for this video for Monday, the 20th of January, 2014. Thank you for listening, and namaste.